What this underwater drone captured terrified the whole world. Studying bodies of water deepens our understanding of our planet, but sometimes, the ocean, rivers, and lakes remind us just how little we truly know. From a mysterious jade artifact to a historical treasure trove, here are 20 underwater discoveries that remain unexplained. Number 20. Mysterious jade artifact. If you were to guess what this artifact is, what would you think it is? If you're clueless, that's alright because archaeologists were as stumped upon seeing this artifact as you are. This artifact was discovered underwater at the site of a royal paseo in Veracruz, Mexico. Subsequent research revealed that it dates back to between 900 BC and 400 BC, but not much is known about it. Physically, it looks rather ordinary. It measures about 8.7 centimeters high and 2.5 centimeters wide. Its design features a conical top, cleft rectangles, and intricate incisions that resemble an abstract corn cob. Corn was a staple in the diet of ancient Mesoamerican cultures, including the Olmecs, who were known for their giant stone heads and sophisticated city building. It's easy to dismiss this artifact as a simple representation of a staple food. What's curious, however, is the fact that it's made of jadeite, a material tougher than steel and incredibly precious. The jade artifact's purpose remains elusive. If it was made from such a tough material, it should be significant, right? Researchers believe that this artifact is of importance. Some researchers propose that it was once the handle of a bloodletter, while others believe it was attached to a staff, functioning as a finial representing authority. However, the most compelling theory is that it was a votive offering placed in the water as part of a ritual to honor deities, ancestors, or magical beliefs. Until we find more proof, however, the answer will remain unknown. Number 19. Man-made or natural formation. Beneath the turquoise waters off the coast of Yonaguni Island in Japan is the Yonaguni Monument, one of the most debated structures in the world. Scientists and conspiracy theorists have been debating over this formation since its discovery in 1987. This structure was first discovered by a local diver named Kihachiro Aratake. He noted that the Yonaguni Monument looked like something left behind by an advanced civilization that we've never discovered before. While he was optimistic about his discovery, researchers were not as on board with this theory. In time, the Yonaguni Monument became known as Japan's Atlantis. It stretches over an area of 165 feet in length and 65 feet in width. The structure includes what appear to be flat platforms, sharp-edged steps, and pillars that don't really look like anything that occurred naturally. Proponents of the theory that the monument is man-made, like marine geologist Masaaki Kimura, argue that these features resemble the architecture of ancient structures and point to the precision of the cuts and the organization of the formations. Kimura has even suggested that the site might date back to a prehistoric civilization, possibly the Jamin, who inhabited Japan from about 12,000 BC to 300 BC. Unfortunately, aside from the fact that the Yonaguni looks like something man-made, no other discoveries back up this story. On the other hand, many geologists, including Robert Schoch, believe that the Yonaguni Monument is a natural formation. They argue that the region's seismic activity, coupled with natural erosion processes, could have created the monument's striking features. They compare it to other natural formations with sharp geometric shapes, such as the basalt columns of the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland. With two clashing opinions, the Yonaguni Monument, although widely accepted as a natural formation, remains a mystery. Number 18. Walking fish. In the depths off the coast of southeastern Tasmania, divers from the Institute for Marine and Antarctic Studies and the Reef Life Survey discovered something quite interesting: a fish with a mohawk. What's more, this fish can also walk. This goofy-looking creature might look like a drawing by a 7-year-old that got turned into a living being. Known as the red handfish, even its name is pretty basic. This creature stands out due to its bright red coloration and unique way of moving. Instead of swimming, it uses its modified pectoral fins to walk along the ocean floor. These hand-like fins enable the fish to navigate the seabed with an almost human-like gait, which is admittedly pretty creepy to watch. This bizarre fish was first documented in the 1800s, but since then, sightings have been rare and its population has significantly declined due to various environmental threats. Habitat degradation, pollution, and the impact of invasive species like certain sea urchin species have all contributed to its dwindling numbers. Moreover, illegal collection has further endangered this slow-moving species. Unfortunately, walking around the ocean isn't really very beneficial. The mystery remains: why would you even adapt and evolve into a fish that can use its fins to walk? With its rarity, this odd-looking species continues to be insufficiently studied. Number 17. Hebrew tablet. In 2016, archaeologists uncovered a massive stone slab beneath the waters off the coast of Tel Dor. After recovering the wreck, archaeologists discovered that the stone slab dates back about 1,800 years. This discovery marks the longest inscription found underwater in the region and reveals the history of Jews during the 2nd century AD. The inscription contains text naming Gargilius Antiquus as the Roman governor and also mentions the province of Judea, which was significant because, after the Bar Kokhba revolt, the Romans sought to erase the name Judea by merging it with Syria to form the province of Syria-Palestina. This revolt, led by Simon Bar Kokhba between 132 and 136 AD, was a pivotal conflict against Roman rule. However, researchers have yet to fully decipher the text, but the preliminary findings already offer valuable information about this era. Until we learn more about these inscriptions, this tablet will remain a puzzling artifact. Number 16. World War II submarine wreck. Recently, the wreck of the USS Harder was discovered. The submarine was used during World War II and is quite aptly named. In its prime, this submarine was renowned for its motto Hit 'em harder, which is quite fitting for its name. The USS Harder was a Gatto-class submarine commissioned in 1942 and commanded by Samuel D. Dealey. It was one of the most successful American submarines in the Pacific theater, credited with sinking multiple Japanese destroyers and severely disrupting enemy naval operations. During its 5th patrol, the Harder was particularly effective, sinking several Japanese warships and earning Dealey the Medal of Honor posthumously. The Harder met its end on August 24, 1944, during its 6th patrol. It was engaged in a battle with a Japanese escort ship, CD-22, off the coast of Luzon. After firing torpedoes at the enemy ship, the Harder was subjected to a devastating depth charge attack. With that, the submarine sank along with all 79 of its crew members. Now, decades later, this lost submarine was finally found. Surprisingly, the wreck was discovered relatively intact, except for the damage to the conning tower caused by the depth charges. The site, now a designated war grave, is protected under U.S. law to honor the final resting place of the brave sailors who perished. Number 15. Underwater garden gnomes. Imagine you're diving in a lake. Despite the darkness of its depths, there's something peaceful about the water. Just when you thought you were having a fun moment, you see something on the lake bed, a small pair of eyes. You swim closer and, as your flashlight shines on what you're seeing, you suddenly find yourself surrounded by gnomes, dozens of them sitting there eerily underwater. Perhaps this has been experienced by innocent and clueless divers before. In the deepest lake in England's Lake District, Wasdale Water, in the depths of its waters are gnomes. It's believed that the gnome garden started as a playful project by local divers who placed the first gnomes in the lake several years ago. Over time, more gnomes were added, creating an entire underwater village that includes not just gnomes but miniature furniture and other decorative items. While this practice turned Wasdale Water into a great and exciting diving spot, it also made the lake incredibly eerie for some. What's more, the underwater gnome garden has sparked some debate in the past. Concerns were raised about the potential environmental impact of these additions, leading to the removal of some gnomes by the local authorities. However, the garden persists, and many of them have mysterious origins. Would you be brave enough to take the plunge into this lake? For me, not really. Number 14. Mysterious ship that vanished in the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle is known for its reputation in the supernatural, extraterrestrial, and paranormal communities. It's safe to say that the Bermuda Triangle's reputation transcends countries. There are many theories about the Bermuda Triangle, but there's one thing it's more renowned for: sinking ships and swallowing planes from the sky. For the longest time, this saying or warning was simply a story passed down from generation to generation. Today, however, it's been brought to the spotlight once again because of this discovery. On November 29, 1925, the SS Cotopaxi, a steam-powered freighter, set sail from Charleston, South Carolina, bound for Havana, Cuba. Tragically, it disappeared along with its 32 crew members, becoming one of the most famous Bermuda Triangle mysteries. Marine biologist and underwater archaeologist Michael Barnett, along with his team, discovered the wreck at a site known as the Bear Wreck, about 35 miles off St. Augustine, Florida. The SS Cotopaxi had sent out a distress signal on December 1, 1925, indicating its position near the Florida coast. This is the last known action of the SS Cotopaxi before disappearing off the planet. With its discovery, perhaps we'll finally know the secrets of the Bermuda Triangle. Number 13. Mysteries of the Saraso Sea. Now you've probably heard about the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle, but have you ever heard about the mysterious region in the ocean known as the Saraso Sea? If you haven't, well, this region is known for being surrounded by mystery. Unlike any other sea, It's defined not by land boundaries but by the swirling currents of the North Atlantic Gyre. These currents include the Gulf Stream to the west, the North Atlantic Current to the north, the Canary Current to the east, and the North Atlantic Equatorial Current to the south, forming a vast elliptical area. Aside from its bizarre location, the Saraso Sea is often painted as an area of mystery, with some stories claiming that it's home to different monsters. Whether these stories are real or fiction is unknown. Number 12. Underwater City. In 2016, disc and donut-shaped structures were discovered underwater. There's nothing suspicious about discs and other circular objects underwater. However, what made researchers stop in their tracks is the fact that these shapes seem to be organized in a way similar to how ancient civilizations created their structures. Take these discs stacked on top of each other as an example. Despite being covered in debris, it's easy to see that they've been neatly stacked on top of each other. Aside from these, the site also had stone pavements, column bases, and large stone slabs resembling the foundations of buildings, all lying between 15 and 20 feet below the surface. This discovery led people to believe they found the remnants of a lost Greek city. The truth, however, is quite disappointing for some. Detailed investigations by geologists and marine archaeologists from the University of East Anglia and the University of Athens revealed that, despite how deliberate the underwater structures looked, they're not the remnants of human civilization but rather a fascinating natural phenomenon. The structures are actually geological formations created by methane seeps beneath the seabed, which we'll talk about later. Similar formations have been found in deep environments around the world, and with this discovery, it might help people not to create baseless theories. Number 11. Spanish Galleon. In 2015, the Colombian government, in collaboration with international researchers, located the greatest hoard ever found. This hoard belonged to the Spanish galleon San Jose. This hoard is the greatest ever known because of the treasures it contained. The Spanish galleon San Jose sank in 1708 off the coast of Cartagena, Colombia. It was a flagship of the Spanish Armada loaded with an immense cargo of gold, silver, and emeralds, valued today at around $17 billion. With that being said, it's no wonder that it's known as the Holy Grail of shipwrecks. But why did it sink in the first place? Originally, the San Jose was part of a treasure fleet returning to Spain from the New World, carrying wealth critical for financing the Spanish War of Succession. However, the fleet was attacked by British warships, and a cannon strike ignited the gunpowder on board, causing a catastrophic explosion that sent the San Jose to the ocean floor along with hundreds of its crew and its incredibly precious cargo. Now, there's really not much mystery behind San Jose's origin and history. The mystery lies in its ownership. With such a valuable discovery, it's not surprising that a lot of people are coveting it. The Colombian government claims ownership of the wreck and its contents, viewing it as a cultural heritage site. However, Spain asserts its historical right to the ship and its treasures in accordance with international maritime law. Now, you would think that Colombia and Spain would be the only two competing nations, but an American salvage company, Sea Search Armada, has also put their claim forward. They claimed they discovered the wreck in the 1980s and have been in a prolonged legal battle with Colombia over a share of the treasure ever since it was brought to light. Well, that's one complicated legal battle. Number 10. Underwater Burial. It seems like the ancient Egyptians didn't leave their dead on land. Time has transformed several of these tombs into underwater burial sites. One of these underwater tombs was discovered back in 2021. Initially, archaeologists unearthed an ancient ship that was stationed in the sunken city of Thonis Heraklion, off the coast of Egypt. This city, once a bustling hub of commerce and culture, sank into the Mediterranean Sea over 1,000 years ago due to a series of catastrophic events including earthquakes and rising sea levels. Despite its disappearance, it remains one of the most significant archaeological sites in Egypt. The shipwreck, identified as a fast galley, dates back approximately 2,200 years. This type of vessel was designed for speed, equipped with a large sail and rows of oarsmen. The galley, measuring 82 feet in length, was likely navigating the Nile River and coastal waters before it met its end after hitting massive blocks from the Temple of Ammonius. The ship was dislodged, sending it under 16 feet of clay and debris. Next to this shipwreck, archaeologists discovered a burial ground dating back 2,400 years. The site includes a tumulus or burial mound covered with rocks and filled with elaborate offerings. Among the findings are decorated pottery, a gold amulet depicting the Egyptian god Bes associated with childbirth and fertility, and remarkably well-preserved wicker baskets containing fruit and grape seeds. Because of the site's difficult position, this underwater wreck and burial proved to be quite the challenge to study, leaving researchers still grasping for information about this discovery. Number 9. Golden Orb. Deep beneath the Gulf of Alaska, where sunlight fails to penetrate and the pressure is immense, scientists aboard the NOAA ship Okeanos Explorer discovered this bizarre golden orb. It's natural for researchers in NOAA to discover, classify, and catalog unknown creatures in the ocean. This one, however, made them scratch their heads in confusion. In fact, it continues to puzzle scientists to this day. When this golden orb was first spotted, a remote-operated vehicle, ROV, delivered its image to researchers on board the ship. Going only by what they were seeing, researchers couldn't identify what they were looking at. It measured only about 4 inches in diameter. It was smooth and soft to the touch and had a small hole near its base. What could it be? Researchers thought they'd know the answer once they got their hands on a sample, but after examining the golden orb, they still couldn't tell just what it was. All they knew was that it was biological in origin, but experts were still stumped about its exact identity. Could it be an egg casing, a dead sponge, or perhaps something entirely unknown? Any theories? Drop them down in the comments below. Number 8. 50-foot tall chimney. Imagine a structure 2,000 feet tall, about 2.5 times as long as the Golden Gate Bridge. Now, just imagine that height being a volcano. Not really impossible, right? Instead of being above sea level, however, it's situated deep on the ocean floor. That's exactly what researchers discovered off the coast of Ecuador, near an underwater volcano named Los Huayos East. Researchers on a 30-day expedition uncovered an enormous hydrothermal vent field featuring ancient chimneys that tower between 33 and 50 feet tall, spanning over 2,000 feet. These chimneys, some as tall as a 4-story building, spout boiling water from deep within the Earth's crust, creating a harsh ecosystem in the already uninhabitable part of the ocean. Thanks to high-resolution mapping instructions, this previously unknown vent field was observed by researchers in detail. Aside from its size, what's more surprising is the fact that these hydrothermal vents are teeming with life, including creatures we have yet to identify. Among the notable discoveries were the monoplacophorine, a type of limpet-like mollusk that has remained relatively unchanged for millions of years. The vents also support a variety of other marine organisms such as tube worms, fish, bivalves, and crustaceans. Who knows just what other creatures unexpectedly thrive in this harsh habitat? Number 7. Ghost shark. Ghost sharks, or chimeras, are ancient relatives of sharks and rays, diverging from them about 300 million years ago. Despite their name, these creatures are neither sharks nor ghosts. These creatures became associated with ghosts because of their rather mysterious and eerie appearance. Instead of being a shark, ghost sharks are once again chimeras, which are actually cartilaginous creatures. Ghost sharks are known for residing in deep waters near Australia, New Zealand, and New Caledonia, and yet, for some bizarre reason, they've been spotted in the Northern Hemisphere. This leads to the belief that this species might be broader than previously thought. Number 6. Roman shipwreck. In 2019, archaeologists diving off the southeastern coast of Cyprus discovered the first known undisturbed Roman shipwreck in the country. The wreck was discovered near the resort town of Protaras in the southeast region of the nation. The shipwreck was discovered by volunteer divers Spiro Spyrou and Andreas Kritiotis, who are part of the underwater archaeological research team at the University of Cyprus Maritime Archaeological Research Laboratory. This wreck was particularly significant because it remained undisturbed, meaning it had not been looted or damaged over the centuries. The ancient vessel was laden with transport amphorae, large clay jars used for storing and transporting goods, such as wine and olive oil. These amphorae likely originated from Syria and Cilicia, a region in modern-day southern Turkey. The intact state of these amphorae indicated the ship was a commercial vessel engaged in trade between Cyprus and other parts of the Roman Empire. The Cyprus Department of Antiquities launched a detailed study of the wreck, and until their research concludes, we're left with a lot of questions about this undisturbed wreck. Now it's time for today's topic. What this underwater drone captured terrified the whole world. Did you know that there are a lot of meteorites in Antarctica? With that being said, it's easy to hide and preserve objects in the frigid water and environment of Antarctica. Now, it wouldn't really be surprising if there turns out to be a well-preserved settlement left behind by an advanced species we never thought existed in the first place. What's bizarre is that while an ROV managed to capture this photo, it seems like the rest of the complex disappeared. Was that an apparition caused by coldness or tiredness? Or perhaps it was caused by something completely mundane? Let me know in the comments down below. Number 5. Underwater castle. In 2016, a diving team led by underwater photographer Tahsin Selan unearthed the ruins of what is believed to be a 3,000-year-old castle in the depths of Turkey's largest lake, Lake Van. Needless to say, it was quite an unexpected find. The alleged castle stretches about 1 kilometer in length and is primarily composed of cut stones, with some bearing carvings of lions. With this theme, researchers believe that this castle was created by the ancient Urartu civilization, also known as the Kingdom of Van. This ancient civilization flourished in the region around the 9th to 6th centuries BCE, and their impressive stonemasonry skills are evident in the remains of this submerged fortress. Despite the fact that there's a lead on the castle's origin, its exact purpose remains unknown. If it was truly built by the Kingdom of Van, what was it meant to be? A spiritual area? A home for their royalty? Or something else? Moreover, was it truly built by the Kingdom of Van? Some experts suggest that the castle actually dates back to the Aeration period. Others believe parts of the structure might have been repurposed during the medieval period. The origin and purpose of this castle are still part of ongoing research. Number 4. Bimin Road. In 1968, 3 divers discovered a stone structure located about 13 feet in length. This stone structure looks incredibly man-made, with stones lying in a deliberate road-like pattern on the shallow seabed. At first glance, divers Joseph Manson Valentine, Jacques Mayol, and Robert Engove immediately knew they had stumbled upon something man-made. With the belief that they had found something valuable, they shared their discovery with experts, only to be met with skepticism. Most geologists believe the Bimin Road is a natural formation, specifically beach rock. Beach rock is a type of sedimentary rock that forms in coastal environments when calcium carbonate binds sand and shell fragments together. Natural processes such as tidal forces, storms, and changes in sea level can break this rock into large rectangular slabs that resemble man-made structures. Others, however, continue to believe that the Bimin Road is a path created by men a long time ago. Some even believe that it's connected to Atlantis. With no other proof, however, this belief is nothing but a theory. Looking at this road, what do you think it is? Let me know in the comments down below. Number 3. Antira Mechanism. In 1901, the Antira Mechanism was discovered off the coast of the Greek island Antikythera. Since then, it's been hailed as the most mysterious and intriguing artifact ever discovered. This mechanism was found amongst bronze and marble statues, pottery, and coins. With all of the other artifacts being more familiar, this mechanism was initially overlooked. It wasn't until 1902 that archaeologist Valerio Staes identified a gear embedded in a corroded mass. Ever since, the purpose of this artifact has been questioned by archaeologists. The Antira mechanism consists of at least 30 meshing bronze gears and is housed in a wooden case about the size of a shoebox. It includes several dials, and for a long time, archaeologists were perplexed and puzzled about the purpose of such an intricate mechanism. Today, however, it's generally believed that the front of the device displays a large circular dial representing the zodiac and an Egyptian calendar, while the back features spiral dials tracking lunar and solar eclipses. The inscriptions on the mechanism, deciphered to reveal about 3,500 characters, serve as an instruction manual providing details on how to use it. The dials and pointers were meant to track the positions of the sun, moon, and possibly the 5 planets known to the Greeks: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Basically speaking, the Antira mechanism was an ancient computer dedicated to the heavens and celestial phenomena. While its purpose is largely answered, how ancient people over 3,500 years ago managed to complete such an intricate mechanism remains a mystery. Number 2. Strange methane leak. In August 2023, a team from Stockholm University and Linnaeus University detected a methane leak while conducting underwater research at the deepest point of the Baltic Sea, known as the Landsort Deep, a region lying 1,312 feet below the surface. The span of this leak is quite astounding. It covers about 7.7 square miles, with its entirety seeing methane bubbles leaking through the ocean surface. Now, why is this mysterious? Well, you see, methane from beneath our world's oceans should dissolve before reaching high in the water column. This leak, however, has a lot of methane, so much so that it sends methane to break through the surface. With methane being a harmful gas that we don't want in abundance, this mysterious discovery is an urgent matter that needs to be resolved immediately. Number 1. 2,000-year-old Roman pill. The Romans were renowned for their hedonistic practices. However, they didn't solely prioritize luxury or pleasure. They were also renowned for developing the most sophisticated inventions in different fields. This includes a 2,000-year-old eye pill found well-preserved in a Roman shipping vessel off the coast of Tuscany, Italy. The ship where this pill was discovered was excavated in the 1980s and 1990s by a team from the Archaeological Superintendency of Tuscany. While experts were expecting to discover several artifacts, they didn't expect the valuable things they found. Among the ship's cargo were ceramic vessels, glass cups, and lamps, But the most intriguing discovery was the remains of a Roman medicine chest. Inside, archaeologists found surgical tools, wooden files, and cylindrical tin vessels called pyxides. One pyxis contained remarkably well-preserved medicinal tablets kept dry due to the vessel's airtight seal. The tablets were composed primarily of zinc compounds, along with iron oxide, starch, beeswax, pine resin, and various plant-derived materials. Researchers believe these pills were likely used as an eye treatment, possibly as a form of eyewash known as collyrium, derived from the Greek word for small round loaves. However, to this day, there's a possibility that this Roman pill was also used for something else. What do you think about these discoveries? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on the screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video.